Popping up at the base of trees, along roadsides, and in people's backyards are rare and edible mushrooms. On this episode, we'll take a look at the top 10 edible mushrooms you've never heard of. Number 10. Orange milk cap. A rare find in the woods, the saffron orange milk cap, as it's also called, is a spotty orange mushroom that tastes of pine nuts. Grown under Mediterranean pines and throughout the Mediterranean basin, this mushroom is found in Portugal, Cyprus, Italy, France, Greece, and most notably, Ireland and Britain. They prefer to grow under trees with acidic soil like birch, spruce, and pine. There are at least 5 species of milkcap mushrooms that produce natural rubber. With that said, among the milkcap, some are edible like the orange milkcap, where others are poisonous. When cut or processed, the gills under the cap will release a milky orange latex, which is where it gets its name. Measuring 2 inches or 5 centimeters in diameter, the orange milkcap, while edible, has a slightly unpleasant odor. The milky latex offers a bitter experience with a faint yet pleasant taste that is reminiscent of pine nuts. Known for having a crisp texture, some describe notes of radish detected among its flavor. Best eaten when they're younger, as they'll get firmer with age. They're sautéed with garlic, salt and pepper, salted or pickled, fried with onions and red wine. A more traditional method of preparation has them marinated with olive oil and lemon and cooked on charcoal. Number 9. Inky Cap. First described by this old-timer, French naturalist Pierre Bouliard in 1786, the inky cap, or common ink cap, grows in tufts. Found in the Northern Hemisphere, North America, Europe, Asia, and also found in South Africa and Australia, the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney, and around Lake Torrens. These mushrooms will grow after rainfall from spring to autumn in meadows, open terrain, disturbed ground, and grasslands associated with buried wood. In urban environments, they're found in lawns, parks, and vacant lots. This mushroom's desire to grow is often stronger than asphalt and tennis courts, bursting through these man-made surfaces to reach sunlight. Fruiting several times per year, they develop a bell-shaped mushroom cap that will eventually flatten out completely before disintegrating, reaching 1 to 3 inches or 3 to 7 centimeters in diameter, sporting a gray to brownish cap. The inky cap is never to be mixed with alcohol. When consumed even a few hours after drinking alcohol, one will experience disulfiram syndrome, a condition that will cause nausea, vomiting, tingling limbs, palpitations, and even a heart attack. Tippler's bane is the term used to describe this heightened sensitivity to alcohol. These mushrooms don't taste very good and have a bit of a metallic taste to them. The younger inky caps taste better. The blackened areas tend to have more of a bitter taste to them. Mixing these into a meal will tend to turn the meal black from the ink released. Boiling them first will release most of the black color. That's a problem for you. These mushrooms have been shown to absorb heavy metals like cadmium, arsenic, and mercury from the soil, making them an ideal thing to grow on contaminated pieces of land. Offering anti-tumor and antiviral effects and the ability to modulate immune system activity, this mushroom offers some unique benefits. Number 8. Pine mushroom. Originating from northern Yunnan and Tibetan region, more specifically the Ura Valley in central Bhutan, the Matsuke, or Chinese and Japanese pine mushroom, is found in other regions of the world today. Europe and North America, such as Washington and British Columbian coastlines, are home to this sought-after mushroom. Prized in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean cuisine, the highest grade of Japanese Matsuke at the beginning of the season sells for $2,200 a pound or $1,000 a kilogram, eventually dropping down to the normal market value of $200 a pound or $90 a kilogram. This mushroom commands a high price due to their rarity. Having specific requirements to grow, foragers and wild animals like rabbits, deer, and squirrels all compete for them. Having a spicy aromatic odor with an acquired taste that will overpower any other mushrooms in a dish, Matsuke are typically cooked in soy sauce, dry sherry, or sugar and roasted until golden brown. Pickled and added to rice or cabbage, they don't mix well with heavy cream sauces, but are a welcome addition to savory dishes. These mushrooms become waterlogged and heavy when washed directly under the tap. It's best to wipe them with a damp cloth instead. The pine mushroom is loaded with vitamins and minerals, anti-cancer properties, with no adverse side effects like many drugs have. Number 7. Bluets. The bluet, or wood bluet, is a violet-colored mushroom from Europe and North America. Found in coniferous and deciduous woodlands, it was first described by Pierre Bouliard, this guy with the flowing locks, in 1790. Cultivated in France, Britain, and the Netherlands, it was also introduced into Australia. This mushroom's mycelium tends to grow among organic matter like decaying leaves. Younger bluets have a purplish-violet coloring to them. As they age, they'll turn a brownish tan color. Most notably, the gills on the underside of the cap will be purple in color, which is the indicator that they're a bluet. When one is spotted, multiple will be found, often paired with chanterelles. Their suede-like cap measures 1.5 to 8 inches, or 4 to 20 centimeters in diameter, and features a unique pinkish spore print. They do have a poisonous lookalike called the Cortinarius, which has a rusty reddish color to them. Being available late summer through to the beginning of winter across North America, it's a fairly safe mushroom to identify successfully. Offering a mild but pleasant aroma, they're often cooked in a cream sauce and sautéed and eaten for breakfast. A more normal tasting mushroom with a slippery texture. They have a nice chewiness to them that would act as a good meat replacement. When it comes to flavor, wild bluets are said to taste much better than cultivated ones. Some people will have an allergic reaction to eating this mushroom, which happens most often when consumed raw. Number 6. Coral tooth fungus. This mushroom is commonly known as the comb tooth or coral tooth fungus for its close appearance to marine coral. Found in the woods from August to October, the comb tooth fungus is 13 inches or 35 centimeters wide by 6 inches or 15 centimeters tall, with the teeth being less than half an inch or 1 centimeter long. Originating from a single point, this fungus spreads across decaying wood and grows in coral clusters. They're found growing on dead hardwood trees like maple beech and birch. White specimens are the ones to look for. As they age, the teeth or combs will turn yellow. This discoloration will change the taste of the coral tooth fungus to be more sour and unpleasant. For this reason, it's recommended they be eaten when they're young and soft. As they age, they become brittle and tough with hanging spines. Best harvesting practices suggest cutting the comb tooth off in one piece near the base. Number 5. Horse mushroom. Described in 1762 by this crusty old aristocrat, Jacob Christian Schaefer, the horse mushroom is found in Britain, Iran, and North America. In New Zealand, they're called snowball mushrooms, whereas in Australia, it's called an almond mushroom. They're frequently found near stables and grow well in horse manure, but also in meadows. They may form fairy rings or a naturally occurring ring of mushrooms that can span across a couple dozen feet. When searching for these mushrooms in the wild, nettles are often found growing in the same space as they both enjoy nutrient-rich soil. Roadsides and spruce trees also provide a home for the horse mushroom, which appears in summer until the end of autumn. To identify them, the gills need to change color from white to a chocolate brown color. When white, these mushrooms are often confused with the deadly genus Amanita or yellow stainer. Having the scent of anise, these mushrooms are prized as one of the most delicious edible mushrooms, yet they often have buildup of heavy metals like copper and cadmium. Being a good substitute for a portobello in a recipe, they're also good in risotto, soups, and savory dishes. Number 4. Caesar's mushroom. Hailing from southern Europe, North Africa, and Mexico, the Caesar's mushroom is also found in La Esperanza, Honduras, where an annual festival celebrates this mushroom. A favorite mushroom of early Roman Empire rulers, hence the name Caesar's mushroom, Romans called it Boltus, which is a name used today for a completely different mushroom. A personal favorite of Roman Emperor Claudius, this red-capped fungus is found growing in oak woodlands and along old Roman roads. Having an orange cap and yellow gills, this mushroom can span up to a foot in diameter and height. Another indicator of the Caesar's mushroom is a thick stipe that tapers downwards. The Amanita muscaria, or Flygar, is a poisonous lookalike of the Caesar's mushroom. The white gills of the Flygar will fall off as they age, where the Caesar's mushrooms will fade to an orange color. Another mushroom on this list containing heavy metals, cadmium levels were found to be 4 times higher within samples than the allowed limit of cultivated mushrooms. Lead was also present that exceeded safety levels. A delicious tasting mushroom, but not always sought after due to their deadly lookalike. An enjoyed fungus of Mexico, they prepare it by roasting this mushroom with epazote. Number 3. Flygar. Since we're already talking about the Flygar, we might as well dive a little deeper. This poisonous yet edible mushroom, you heard me right, has only had a handful of deaths from its consumption. This mushroom's poison delivers a hallucinogenic effect, which has resulted in an entire culture being built around getting a trip off of these mushrooms. Enjoyed in Russia, Italy, Scandinavia, and Central Europe, this Mario mushroom is one of the easiest mushrooms in the world to identify. The bright white spots will yellow with age or be possibly washed off by the rain. The name Flygar comes from medieval times when they would use it to kill flies by breaking it into pieces in milk or sprinkling with sugar. Found from August to November in Europe and June to October in North America, this mushroom is eaten by reindeer and associated with Christmas in Europe. To safely prepare it for consumption, boil them in large volumes of water until all the red color is gone and all that's left is a yellowish tint. At this point, the water will absorb all the toxins and needs to be discarded. You're free to cook them up as you will after this, with the preferred method being fried or pickled. The taste isn't exceptionally good or bad, more or less just tasting like a normal mushroom. Number 2. Brown Slime Cap. A tasty name indeed. The brown slime cap, or copper spike, was first described by, once again, Jacob Christian Schaefer in 1774. This guy was like the mushroom king of his era, an edible mushroom, but one that isn't highly regarded. The copper spike is 6 inches or 15 centimeters wide, with an iconic metallic sheen that can be seen when it's sunny, having a red wine pale tinted cap with thick gills that change from grayish white to a dirty purplish hue as it ages. This mushroom's flesh will change color from orange to violet when chewed, being virtually odorless and tasteless. The brown slime cap is best enjoyed dried, then added to savory dishes. Another good chewy mushroom that operates as a meat substitute, the lack of taste will ensure added texture only. Thai curry is a choice dish for the brown slime cap, offering a more dense, tofu-like experience to the dish. Number 1. Red Cage. Originating in Mediterranean climates and grown in northern Europe, the red cage is also found in the English Channel among wood chips. In the United States, they can be spotted in San Francisco. Other names include lattice stinkhorn and basket stinkhorn, which are derived from their magnificent latticed matrix. Light red on the outside with a glowing amber on the inside, the red cage fungus is one known to date back to 1597. John Gerard, this dude with a sweet ruffle-collared shirt, produced a woodcut art piece featuring the red cage called Great Herbal in 1597, among others he later created. Grown in an egg-like structure, this mushroom will eventually hatch and open up into the world, which may only take a few hours. Before hatching, the mushroom is edible but not great eating. After it breaks free of its shell, this lattice-shaped fungus will start to fester and decay. This process draws in flies who will eat the slime on the inside of the mushroom that smells like rotting meat, and in turn spread the spores of the mushroom to grow elsewhere. The flies need to carry the spores as they can't be carried by the wind. This all happens within 1 or 2 days, as the life cycle of this mushroom fruit body is very short. Taking photos or video of this mushroom out of its shell is a difficult task. Not only do they only live for a day or two, but the smell makes it unbearable to be around them. Grown in mulch, sometimes in people's backyards, this is one of the rarest edible mushrooms on the planet. Which one of these mushrooms would you like to try the most? Be sure to employ the help of a mushroom expert if you want to try any of these.